What's going on, everyone? My name's Boyd and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the top of the map in the blue color, playing as Ra. His name is Magic. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name's Ayah. This is best of 7 Showmatch, hosted by Trustify, I believe. He's a pretty solid community member. Gets a lot of these show matches underway. A lot of these top players who don't often get to play against each other very much. And yeah, so we get to see some really cool games. These are recorded games, so not live. But that just means we get to see more details. Very, very good. Very, very good. Okay, so we have the map Tundra. I guess we should talk about this. If you don't know who these people are, Magic has been around for ages, but he's known for being incredibly good when he plays tournaments, like almost unbeatable in a tournament setting. And he often trains for the tournaments in hiding or in Smurfs or in broad daylight or whatever. He does it a whole bunch of different ways, but basically he's never rusty in a tournament. But he often does play these show matches rusty, and I believe he hasn't played very many 1v1s leading up to this. So it's going to be interesting to see how he goes with that. Ayah, on the other hand, is one of those up and coming. He's been a top player for quite a while, but I don't think I've seen him play many tournaments or many things like that. And I think he's recently kind of found that level where he can really compete with the top level players. So we'll see if that comes out in this series or not, but I imagine it's going to be an exciting one. These both, at least Magic makes the games exciting just because he has such interesting strategies and things like that. So we'll see if he can pull them out here. All that being said, one of my slight gripes with the way that patches have gone for Age of Mythology is in balancing them a certain way, which they've done. Maps definitely feel like more fair. You can't like look at a map and be like, that thing there, you've got my thing over there and I should have that thing on my side, or like the town centers aren't fair. That's all well and good, but one thing that it does, or one unintended effect that does happen from it, is that at the top level you'll find that there isn't a lot of room for players to outplay. So you'll find that if you spawn into a map like Tundra in this matchup, which is probably a fairly even matchup, you could probably say with about 70% certainty that Oranos is going to have a much easier time on this map, probably take a win. Whereas if you were to spawn into, say, like a watering hole or a marsh, Ra's going to have a much easier time to win. But that's neither here or there. I just thought something interesting to think about, and maybe something that is a thing. Now we do have a standard build order here for Ayah. He's put this back temple down, boxed his villager in here. I'm not sure what the temple here is doing that, but I reckon the temple on this side, wedged against the tree, would like block off any sort of priest pharaoh action walking in here. Villagers at the front, nice and close to a sentry tower, nice and defensive here. We do see the pharaoh making his way down. One thing that Ra lacks here, so this is a classic top level strategy, trying to just get a little bit of an edge here early game, but it's super risky, and we do see he's going to miss the hunt over here, which would be huge if he found it, but he's going to be moving right here. He finds the sentry tower, and he may run straight into the town center or walk around and find some wood villages. Okay, so he finds the wood villages, but these wood villages can simply just garrison inside of the tower. So one big difference between playing Ra and playing Set here in this matchup is that there's no vision and there's no real scouting involved. So you could do this strategy with Set because you get like the hyena to run around and find out where all the villagers are. So you could scout the entire map by 4 minutes and 15 seconds into the game. And this could do a lot of damage to, say, this hunt here. But Ra is a guessing game, right? So if he finds it and he's searching down in this corner, obviously nothing here. We can see that, but he is going to be leaving that one. Maybe he saw nothing over there, and he's going to be getting out of there. Counter barracks. Oh, interesting. I going for a double counter barracks here. I actually like the double counter barracks against Ra, against Egyptian. But you don't want to stick with it. So you have to be really careful how long you spam the Terma out at the top level. If you play at the low levels, doesn't matter so much. You just want to get to the Titan Age or the Mythic Age and abuse your advantages that way. But at the top level, you got to be careful not to make too many, unless you can put a huge amount of pressure on. We do see the Prometheans coming in here. Magic should be able to fight this off. Ayah's got some nice micro here though, pulling in and out, trying to do a little bit of chip damage. I find the easiest way to counter this is you Alt S and you let him dance back and forth. You can take a couple of free hits, and then after that, then you can start attacking back, and oftentimes he'll miss and he'll lose one of the Prometheans. And if it's only one Promethean, it's much less of an issue for him. Other thing he could have done was just bring the priest forward, but I guess he realized that Terma were going to come anyway, so he had to make the escape, the great escape anyway. So he's back onto berries. Villagers coming up over here now. So let's check out Ayah's perspective. What does he see? So he's seeing the hunt here. He sees the hunt here, but yeah, he sees the hunt here as well. So this is going to be a case of, does Magic kill these two elk or not? We'll see which ones he goes for. Actually, it looks like Ayah's already heading over there to check this out. Really, really nice job by Ayah. He's checking all the hunt spots, realizes that if he can slow down the hunt from a 4:15 advance, that really hurts the Ra. If Ra goes for like a 5-minute 30 advance or 5-minute 15 advance and gets this town center up no issues, then he's just going to be building farms. There's nothing he can do. He's going to pick off a villager here. That's about standard. I think Magic, does he have Skin of the Rhino? No. You should get Skin of the Rhino basically as soon as you possibly can, because these Terma, they only do 4.0 damage, I should say, 4.4 damage. Then if you get Skin of the Rhino, the pierced arm will go up to 50%, or more than 50%. I think it's 54%, something like that. And that means that the Terma are only doing 2 damage a shot. When you only have 4 Terma, then they're really not going to be hurting. And on top of that, then you can fight back against the Terma, and the villagers kind of beat the Terma in a fight if they have Skin of the Rhino. It's pretty ridiculous. But I do have to micro really, really well. But now we've got the barracks up. Still, I don't like that he's still trying to gather wood from here. Just move over here. Send your villagers over here. You're just taking unnecessary losses. I know it's like a long walk time, but losing the villagers is pretty big. And it's going to put Ayah really far ahead. We just see even more of this, and he's just going to run back and forth. Magic trying to be tricky here. Did a little fake over to this side, but Ayah spots it that time in the head of Magic. I think he just needed a little bit more wood for something. Town center up for Ayah, going for that beautiful 2 town centers play there. You do see that he cut Terma. He's only building Terma from 1 counter barracks right now, because he knows that Magic can't do anything to him. There's no reason for him losing another villager there. Ouch. Feels bad, man, but that's life. Okay, so we're going to cast Rain soon. This is like another thing about this build that Magic's done, is it's really slow if you get hurt like this. He does manage to pick off a couple of Terma for a trade of a Slinger there, and a nice micro into the town center, but it's really slow to get going. You get the town center up, and then you have to get wood. You have to get like 200 wood to get your plow and your Shadoof out, and you also need 120 wood, which I haven't gathered. So from these trees, you need to get out like a butt ton of wood in a very short amount of time, and oftentimes it just hurts so much. Okay, so Ayah now moving in. Slingers are going to be hurling their slinger balls at the Terma, but missing, because, you know, while the slinger are all well and good, they do have a nice bonus against these Terma. They have like a 300% bonus against Terma. they can't hit the Terma if they're moving. So the Terma can just run in and run out and get whatever position they want, no risk, which is really, really good for him. So you now got the 3 town centers going. He should have, okay, he's got 6 villagers on wood. I was going to say, he only needs 5 villagers on wood, right? To be building Terma from 2 counter barracks and a Murmillo, and then on top of that, then you can get excess wood for armory, mana, or farms. So I'm still coming in here. Magic is still kind of okay, but it is 3 town centers to 2 town centers now. Magic has utilized his reign with like 15 farms. He's going to be on his way to... I was going to say he's going to be on his way to the next age, but it looks like he's got no food in the bank. What?
He need to.
What?
He need to.
Huh? Where did his food go? What did he spend it on? That can't have just been villagers. With 15 farms, going on 18 farms. Can somebody please explain? Okay, Ayah now has a monstrous amount of Terma. So he's actually just restarted the Terma as well. He has 2 barracks now, 2 counter barracks pumping units. And he's just going to get full pop. I don't know if I like the full pop Oranos army. Like this strat. I prefer you to cancel these units a little bit early. Make sure you can get pop capped in villages. But he's probably pretty close to pop capped. And the villagers, there's 1 town center at 99% and he's fighting. So those villagers will come out. So this is totally fine for Ayah to be losing these. But as long as he's doing damage with them, which he is doing the damage. I should pick off a bunch of those villagers there. Gold mine now expired though. This is going to be... It's going to be difficult for Magic to hold on here. We just see the watchtower coming out for him. And Ayah has to get out. He's going to be moving over here. See the watchtower. There's a couple of slingers. The population difference is 92 to 144. Armory coming up for Ayah. He's going to be on his way to the Heroic Age and probably the Mythic Age soon after. Slingers fighting away. Huge shockwave right there for Ayah. Managed to pick off a lot of those slings, or hit a lot of those slingers, but most of them still alive. The micro not very good there from Ayah, and the shifting sands on those Terma pulling them straight into Magic space. Gonna have to get out of there. And he's gonna have to leave this gold mine for the time being. But Magic does have to fortify this a little bit more. 1 watchtower against the majority Terma when you have a majority slinger army tends to not be enough. He's going to try and build up a barracks here. If he doesn't quite get it up, the units do cancel that one accidentally, it looks like. Maybe he'll throw that one back down a little bit later. Magic does now have Skin of the Rhino, so he does have an option to pull his villagers off and fight back, but at this point in the game, Hyperion's coming in, and it's going to be difficult for him to keep up if he keeps sacrificing villagers. The Magic's pumping out Mercenary as well. Still making villagers. He has to make these mercenary. Is he going with Heroic Age? No. No. No Heroic Age. So he's just super far behind. And Ayah is just going to get more and more ahead as this game goes on. And yeah. Feels bad, man. I don't see any way for Magic to really make a comeback here beyond like microing like a god with these villagers and utilizing like garrison micro or something. So you can utilize garrison micro, you can basically make his units infinite HP against Terma, but it's like you have to be some sort of insane supercomputer or something to be able to do it. And when it's going to be when Hyperion comes in, you check out Ayah's resource count. He's already got like so many resources. This is why I said only 5 villagers on wood's necessary, because he's peaking like 900 wood already, and if that wood was in gold, he'd be at 1,000 food right now, and be already on his way to, or like in 15 seconds or so, be on his way to the Mythic Age with no issues in the wood department. But he chose to go more on wood for the safety feature, I guess, throwing down the market. And he's full civilian units as well. The villager's getting pulled off the line here. He's just going to run away, hit and run, pick off a villager there. With 17 Terma, you can actually one-hit the villagers. So even with Skin of the Rhino with the 54% Pierce armor, villagers will be running away, but all of them do fall there. And Magic now, he's only sitting at 100 population, and he's still not on his way to the next age here. And Ayah is just picking off units everywhere he wants. He can just choose the fight he wants to take. He's just got so many more units on top of this Satyr coming in. Going to be making some pain for him to deal with as well. Then Ayah is going to be throwing pallets down, and that's going to be huge as well, because that's going to be destroyers to just push through here. And we do see that Hecate is on the way. You can assume that Hecate's going to come down inside of this base of Magic. And there's not going to be a lot he can do beyond, I guess he could just take all these villages off. With Skin of the Rhino, they will be able to take the Tartarian Gate down really fast, but he's not going to be able to keep producing units that are fend against this flood. And then an impending Titan would probably be an option here for Ayah if he so chose. If he just stopped losing units, he could just go Titan and be able to win here. But Ayah is sacrificing all the units here, and it's giving Magic a little bit of an opportunity here. I think it's like a little bit overzealous fighting this one. But the destroyers are here now. Ayah has sunk down by 10 pop. Magic is up to 120 population now. He has been pushed off this gold mine though. He's got no real ability to save that one. The food from this granary here is expired right now, so Magic's not going to be able to get much more from that. Hecate has come in, and there's going to be a turn running into this location. I'm going to be using his Tartarian Gate probably here. Yes, picks off the monument to the village and a couple of houses there. But Magic has kind of got this location under control, but he's classical Egyptian against a Mythic Age Atlantean. And basically right now, Ayah can just pick whatever he wants, whatever option he wants to push into Magic. We do see the villagers getting pulled off here, and you see how fast the Tartarian Gate goes down. The way to defend against this is to get all of these Tartarian spawns as low as you can, kill this Tartarian Gate off, and then pick off the rest of the Tartarian spawns. You don't want to kill them too early. We just see a shockwave comes in to get 1 or 2 more Tartarian spawns out of here, and Magic does pick that one off, but he's getting pushed in over here as well. The heavy destroyers in here as well. And it's looking like with the fire siphon coming out, that's going to be dead towers everywhere. Magic's got no resources left. 1,000 wood, but really no gold. 35 villagers on gold over here. Lots of villagers over here, but that's just going to be too much right now for Magic. The fire siphon on top of the town center. And the Magic taps out. GG. Well played by Ayah. We just saw that Terma Hunt Starve against a really needy Hunt Ra build. I feel like potentially if Magic had gone for like more of a fast farm rather than for the fast harass, or if he did more damage with the fast harass, he would have been maybe okay here. And maybe my initial analysis was a bit off. The harass, Had he come down to this hunt here, it would have been like perfect for him. He would have prevented a bunch of food coming in, which means the villagers slow down, which means the Terma will slow down, which means that he can then get his buildings up without being harassed. Could probably even shifting sand some of the Terma into his base earlier. Could have been another option that we didn't think about. I think he saved the shifting sands for a little bit too long. But when he was getting harassed over here, if you're just shifting sands those Terma into his base, into like a little box or something in his base, then and then he wouldn't have lost all these villagers up here, and he would have been in a better shape to go into this build that he was doing. The other option I reckon for Magic here probably could have been just the standard 2-town center, but without the harass with the Pharaoh. And that way you keep the Pharaoh back, and then you can defend against these Terma with it. And you could also try like a Bast here as well. Could be an option. If you go like a 430, get Sphinx out, and you put the granaries down, but it makes Spearman. It's an option, but it's a bit more cheesy than anything else. Anyways, That's game 1 to Ayah. We'll move on to game number 2 fairly shortly. Thanks for hanging out with me, and we'll get that next game going real soon.